Welcome everybody, it's Tellum, and in this video we are going to be talking about Monty and exactly how his character evolved throughout Black Ops 3. So we're going to be starting way back in Shadows of Evil and ending up inside Revelations, and it's going to be really interesting. I didn't notice this until I actually put this video together, and I finally realized that how interesting how his character evolved. So weird. But anyways, without further delay, let's actually get into this video. So in Shadows of Evil and the Giant, I'm going to be talking about both of them because we didn't really get anything really a lot compared to what we have now. We didn't get a lot about the character back then. We did have some things, but we weren't even sure if that was actually Monty they were talking about. And what I'm talking about right now is actually the cipher that was found in Shadows of Evil. It actually says M is interested in these worthless beings, all his work will be undone X. And we do know now that M is actually Monty because of the new cipher inside Revelations. If you guys have watched my video talking about that, you guys know what I'm talking about. But if you guys haven't, it's just a cipher inside Revelations that we will talk about later in this video. Just wait for that if you guys are still skeptical if M is Monty, but you guys will see at the end of the video or towards the end of the video. But anyways, now actually looking at the cipher, we still don't know what it means now that we know that M is Monty. So M is interested in these worthless beings, all his work will be undone X. First off, we don't know who X is, and these worthless beings, are they our Origins crew? Probably, but all his work will be undone? What's that talking about? Monty's work wasn't really undone. What, maybe inside the prologue, I guess the Shadow Man kind of undid it, but it was all put back together. That'd be stupid if that was the case, but I don't know, maybe that's all it's talking about, maybe it's not. Still, we don't know who the X guy is at all. We don't have any characters with X in their name. As for the characters within the Giant, we really didn't have any characters that even really question Monty himself. They really just questioned the Gobblegums. It's all like saying, these haven't followed us before, why now? Just why are these things here now? Why are these Gobblegum machines now? They weren't there before, why now? Richtofen does say a question if Maxis even knows who crafted them, because himself he doesn't know who did it. He doesn't even question Monty at the time. Now going on to Drake, this was kind of really not that much for Dr.Monty. Really, all we got was one cipher, and the cipher actually read, I received another toy posted by M. And this is really interesting, but we don't know what any of it means. So who received the toy? Maybe Maxis, maybe Samantha, maybe Eddie. Who's receiving these toys? Because we do know inside the Revelations Easter egg that supposedly the souls were actually kept inside these toys that children were playing with. That could possibly be the case, but at the same time we can't confirm that. But I'm not too sure why the toys are important, or why Monty's even bringing the toys in the first place. But the only other thing to point out inside the Rise of the Drake is that the characters are actually starting to question who is Dr.Monty and his agenda. And Richtofen does say his that maybe his agenda will be shown very soon. But anyways, actually getting to Zetsubo no Shima. So we got a really interesting radio inside Zetsubo no Shima, and it was actually from Maxis, and we don't know when this actually took place. It could have been right between the Rise of the Drake and Zetsubo no Shima, because that's where I would think it would be. If we don't have that area, then we really don't know when this was actually recorded, because like I just said, our characters don't know who Monty is at this point. Even Richtofen doesn't know who Monty is at this point. But we have this quote from, or this radio from Maxis, and I'll read it out for you guys right now. And he says, he explained everything to me, he will explain everything to you. Though his very presence defied logic, defied reason, he told me that he would help. I could not refuse. So pretty much what was happening before in the radio before is just that they were kind of running out of supplies and everything. They were running out of like anything they can to survive. And what it seems like, the children were with Maxis before, but Monty stepped in sometime after. So this perfect world that Monty's always talking about inside Revelations, it's kind of not his world, because Maxis and the children had it before. So just saying, Monty wasn't always a part of this. And again, we're assuming that because Maxis does say he will explain everything to you, and of course in Gorod Krovi we see this. Of course we'll talk about it in just a second, but before we move on from Zetsubo no Shima, I actually want to read you guys off a cipher that was actually found in there, and it says, Edward, it is imperative that you and the group find the exact version of yourself that I've highlighted in each universe. Only by killing that version of yourself in that particular universe at the particular moment in time will we be successful. Once each of your other selves are killed across all other universes. Remember, we are only immune because we opened the portal in France, but I am afraid this might not be permanent. I fear there's something M isn't telling me, and there's not much time left for us. So this is really interesting, because none of this actually came to pass within the actual game. Even in Revelations, we have nothing that actually talks about this. The portal in France was never mentioned again after this. We just never heard it again. It was just mentioned here and then never again, which I was very disappointed in. But maybe, of course, there's a super Easter egg to explain all this stuff. But as of now, we don't have any super Easter egg, so it kind of feels kind of disappointing that we didn't get a real answer to this one. But at the start of it, we just get what we've known. We've known for so long. You have to kill the specific person at a specific point in time, another version of yourself, and kill off all the other versions of yourself in all the other universes. We all knew that. But the thing is that he fears that something M isn't telling me, and there's not so much time left for them. So what is he talking about? Maybe he's just talking about when they close off all the other universes, maybe they're actually going to disappear from existence. Possibly that's what he could be talking about. Maybe, maybe not. We just don't know. It's just so weird. But anyways, in Gorod Krovi, we actually got a bombshell worth of information about Dr. Monty's. So first thing, before we actually get into any real ciphers or anything like I normally do or radios, I want to actually talk about how the characters were actually acting. The characters actually, for some reason, had this vague understanding of Monty, I'd like to say, because Richtofen says himself, something and I know who you are. So something along those lines. I really can't remember the quote at this point, but if you guys know what I'm talking about, go and leave that down in the comments. But our characters have this vague understanding of him, of Monty, and we got this really bombshell. We got a whole bunch of wisps and a whole bunch of just round quotes and down quotes and everything from Monty, just talking directly to the characters. It was all like this super hidden guy just all of a sudden just starts talking to us like, what's happening here? And it's really weird because he's just giving us flat out information about everything, but why? He's like, talks about Samantha, our other versions of ourselves. He talks about how he actually tries to divide our characters. We hear that multiple times within his quotes, and we just don't know why he's doing this in the first place. And it's kind of weird because we thought his hidden agendas would be revealed within and all the way back in the Rise of the Doctor, they talked about his hidden agendas being revealed, but even in Revelations we never got his agenda. What's his agenda? We just know what we just see what he did. We don't have an agenda for him still. But it was really cool how we got all that inside Gorod Krovi. Now I actually want to read you guys off a cipher from Gorod Krovi, but this one actually does not mention the M character, and it doesn't even mention Monty or anything like that. But I think maybe this could be Monty, but at the same time I highly doubt it could be him in the first place. So anyways, let me read you guys off the cipher right now. Reality or a dream? It's becoming harder and harder to tell. He came to me again last night while I was on my nightly walk through the countryside. He told me the location of a book called the Chronorium. Said Richtofen needed to acquire it if we were ever going to set things right. The book contains the location of a device called the summoning key. I will contact Richtofen in the morning. So this is really interesting because if you guys remember in the Zetsubo no Shima's radios, Maxis just recently met Monty. At least that's what it seems like. Of course, those radios could be recorded at any point in time, but still, Richtofen didn't know who Monty truly was until Gorod Krovi, so he just found out about him. But it's like, it's kind of weird, this situation, because this sounds like Monty. Yeah, he's going to tell him where the Chronorium is, and we know it's not the Shadow Man who's telling Maxis to tell Richtofen, if this is even Maxis we're talking about here, but we just don't know who this is. It doesn't seem like Monty, doesn't seem like the Shadow Man. We only know, it seems like Maxis is the one writing this, but it's just so weird because we don't have any solid proof for any of this, because this is kind of weird because we know Richtofen got the Chronorium forever ago and the summoning key all the way back in Shadows of Evil. This cipher had to be written sometime, even like maybe even directly after Origins, the events of Origins, not the Origins cutscene, but the events of Origins had to be sometime after that, within the 2-year gap. But you have to remember, our characters didn't know who Monty was within that time. They weren't there, so it's kind of weird. Is this Monty? How could it be Monty? I'm not too sure if this was a mistake by Treyarch or it's just something I can't really understand right now. But anyways, that's about it for Gorod Krovi. Now actually moving on to Revelations. And Revelations, we got a lot of information about Monty. Again, we learned that he was actually in the house with Maxis and the children for a while, and he was actually there when our characters arrived. And it was just really weird the situation was in, because he kind of, during the prologue or the intro cutscene, he kind of just like did nothing while everything was taking place, like the summoning key was there, and what were our characters doing too? It was just really weird, that intro cutscene. But when we actually get into the map, he's supposedly doing a whole bunch of work in the background, and even though we're pretty much doing all the work, he claims he's doing a bunch of other work that we have no proof for he's doing. And then we get into the cutscene and he just tries to throw us out of existence, but instead he sends us back to the time of Primus. Now that sounds like the end of Monty's story, but actually we get something continued on from Monty's story. So Monty actually goes on, he's not actually stuck inside the loop. Our characters are, because our characters loop starts, but it starts in Origins, and they go through all the events of Black Ops 3, they become Primus, the ancient ones, then they die somehow there, and then their history, since they were placed back in history, that history will continue until it gets back to Origins, and it repeats the same process and just keeps doing that indefinitely as it seems. We know this from the Easter egg inside Revelations, because it says the cycle continues. People are saying maybe we could break that cycle, but I keep on bringing up that super Easter egg that was really nothing to do with this video. But anyways, the thing is, we actually get a cipher from Monty actually outside of this loop. So Monty lives on past this loop. He's not stuck in this loop, only our characters are. So what the cipher actually says, it says, thanks to the sacrifice of Maxis and the contraption called Sophia, all the 115 has been purged from the final universe. Thank cuss word God. Time to get some rest. M. And as you guys can tell, this is how we can confirm M is actually Monty. If you guys didn't know before, but now we actually know for a fact that M is Monty, because he obviously is talking about after the events of the ending cutscene of Revelation. So there's not really anybody left except maybe the children, but at the same time people are saying the children aren't even alive anymore after that ending cutscene. It seems like only Monty continued to live inside his final universe, or whatever he wants to call it, his perfect world. It's just really weird inside the cipher. I talked about this a lot inside that other video if you guys want to watch me talk about it in depth, but a little things to touch up on is that he actually calls it the final universe, but we don't actually know why he's calling it the final universe. Why is it the final universe? It's just really weird. He doesn't really give us a reason why he's calling his perfect universe the final universe. It's just really weird. But anyways, that is the story of Dr. Monty within Black Ops 3. As you guys can see, he evolved from just being a name on our Gobblegum machines to actually being maybe this omnipotent godlike being, maybe not. We have no proof for him actually being this omnipotent being. All we really got from him is him just talking, but that's not important. So anyways, if you guys did enjoy this video, go ahead and thumbs up. If you guys want to stay tuned for more storyline stuff just like this, go ahead and subscribe. But I'm gonna go, and I will catch you guys on my next video.